friends and companions of the Famleegue. Back for season 3. Perfect attendance. Perfect attendance. Round of applause. Everyone came back to the league. Woo! I guess I kept it entertaining enough. I guess the football season kept it entertaining enough. And, I feel like I know we all face each other, but I feel like we've all grown stronger together as a group. So glad to have you all back for another season 3 of the Famleegue. Now, despite everyone returning, we do have some new names here that I'm going to do a little roll call of. We're going to start off with Kendra. Chubb won out. Unfortunately, poor Chubb. She wasn't able to do that, so Chubb went out. Pretty top tier, alternative. So we got from the Chubb to a Rub. Rubbin out a win, and his picture is a hot dog. Randy Mason, you have outdone yourself, my good sir. You have outdone yourself. Probably the funniest name of them all, possibly. Bryce, he went from, I think, Hertz Donut to Hertz Locker. I don't know if it was Hertz Donut. It was one of my team names, so from one of my other teams. So I don't know if that was the name last year. I can't remember. Trey, a very second, to Randy, cut my balls. He says every time he gets Cooper Kupp, that's his name. So he stuck with it there. Honestly, this is probably my favorite name, Felice Najee Dodd. And I got to shout out Molly to not only the awesome name, but the gingerbread man icon she found. She was very excited about that. Source says from a phone call earlier with Kelsey that she loves it. So can confirm. And then last but not least, your boy, Purdy Boy Sweat. Hey! And I hope that little clip wasn't as cringy as I made it. Sam Lee reporting live. Famleegue Network. Name is good. The announcement for it, yeah, it was kind of a little bit on the cringe there. Gonna have to dial that one back. Yeah, so great names. I did a little draft review just based off of my thoughts and evaluations. Now, I don't want this to influence you guys because, as you see, I'm not an expert at all. I did win one of my leagues last year out of like 6. I made it to the championship in another, but our league, I didn't make the playoffs. So don't listen to me. This is just what I'm thinking. You might be thinking the same thing too, but we'll dive in. The draft, very tough. It's always tough with 12. I think it's even tougher with keepers too. I haven't drafted in a league with keepers in a while. I actually don't think I have with football. I have baseball, not football. It was very tough. Very, very tough. We're going to jump into it with Show Me Your TDs. His keeper was Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson, who was ranked number 1 in fantasy football for this season, opening the year. So obviously you had to keep him. He had a tough choice to either keep him, Josh Allen, or Devontae Adams. Well, he was able to reel back in Josh Allen. I don't know how we let that happen. So he's got Jay Jettis, Josh Allen. He's pretty stacked with wide receivers once again. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keenan Allen. He got a little hurt last year, but he's a very solid wide receiver. For the Chargers, Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in fantasy. His running backs to me are a little bit risky. Cam Akers. Pretty sure I drafted Cam Akers like all my teams last year. I just thought he was going to go off. He did not. Well, except toward the end of the year, he kind of went off. And they also got DeAndre Swift, who newly acquired from the Eagles, from the Lions. I've always thought both running backs are great. Had, great expectations, but none of them have really met those expectations. They both gotten hurt too in their careers, so a little risky there, but it might pan out. This might finally be the year where they take that next step. So he also got the top kicker and the top defense special teams as well. So he's rated pretty high on the final projection standings, which I will get to after these evals. Next we'll go with the Scranton Stranglers. His keeper was A.J. Brown. Just like Jay, he has a strong wide receiver core. Um, he's got some good veteran wide receivers that he was kind of able to pick up late. I think Michael Pittman will be a great complement to the young quarterback, Anthony Richardson. DJ Moore, same thing. Great wide receiver to. I feel like DJ Moore's kind of wide receiver style will fit in with Justin Fields' style. You know, kind of like that short dump pass. Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks has had a very underrated career. I feel like he's just been like a solid guy. It's now kind of jumping around different teams, but Cooks was cooking some last year. And I think he's going to stir the pot even more in Dallas. Now, almost similar. Him and Jay kind of similar built teams. Tanner has a very young running back core. He picked up Rashad Penny very late, who is going to be challenging DeAndre Swift for carries, and just like Swift, Penny has had some injuries. Started off the season great and strong last year, but he got hurt. So it'll be interesting to see how Philadelphia, which ones are they going to go with? Swift going to get it more, Penny going to get it more. So it'll be very interesting to see. He went all Panthers kicking. Panthers kicker and punter, so pretty funny. Rubbing one out, Randy Mason. I thought he had a very solid draft. I have a couple winners here in the draft, and he's one of them. He decided to keep Josh Jacobs. I mean, Josh Jacobs had a very 2021 Jonathan Taylor year last year. I love his starting lineup, man. Deshaun Watson, he's going to ball out this year. Alexander Madison, who has been a backup for Dalvin Cook for many years for the Vikings. Every time Cook has gone down, Madison has stepped up. Man, he is ready for the starting role. Garrett Wilson, some people think he could be the best wide receiver in all of fantasy football this year. He actually went 1 overall in the ESPN Experts Fantasy Draft. DK Metcalf, one of my favorite wide receivers in the game. He always shows out. Dallas Goedert, a great tight end option for Jalen Hurts. He stole Brandon Ayuk, who had a nice late emergence last year, midseason emergence. Ayuk and Gabe Davis are both steals. Great veteran wide receivers who tend to have some like 20, 30-point games like throughout the season. So, and Jimmy G, I like Jimmy G. Jimmy G and Devontae Adams, I feel like they could really, connect a lot this season. So, I thought he was a winner of the draft. I thought Randy was a winner of the draft. Next, we're going to just Joshua. Now, some people had a tough time, choosing which keeper, but some rosters really weren't set up the best to have a solid keeper. And I'm not trying to shame on Terry McLaurin as a fantasy football player, but he's not like, I think he's a wide receiver one, but it's like he's kind of borderline wide receiver one. I think Sam Howell will complement him greatly. I think he's going to have a great year. So McLaurin will definitely help Josh's team once again this season. He's got Lamar Jackson, Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders, pretty good running back tandem there. He got Devontae Adams, so great wide receiver core as well. Kind of low risk, high reward picking Jonathan Taylor so late. Hopefully he ends his little lockout and plays some. Sky Moore, maybe after his rookie season under his way, now he can emerge as one of the top targets for Kansas City. His bench is a little risky. Just some like guys that are kind of been unproven the past couple of years, or just kind of been shaky, but or just some young guys are expected to go to the next level. So his bench is very due. It's very due to succeed. Next we'll go to Hertzlocker, Bryce. We'll go with him. He's another winner of the draft just because he won that first overall pick in the draft, and he spent it well in Jamar Chase. I probably would have went with him too. I think everyone else would have too. Also picked up Deebo Samuel. I love Deebo Samuel. One of my teams last year was Lebo Samuel, so great name. He's got some veteran running backs. that are proven. He went with the Saints defense and Justin Tucker as his kicker, and they're both pretty elite. A lot of people think the Saints defense is going to be very good this year, and I think so too, just because that conference is so weak. Like, we don't know what we're going to get out of the Panthers. We don't really know what we're going to get out of the Buccaneers or the Falcons. So I think the Saints could have a good year for their defense. I'm a little, almost like just Josh Young, I'm a little unsure about his bench. He's taking a couple risks on some guys there, so we'll see, if it ends up panning out. I do like they to pick Joshua Kelly. Austin Eckler is almost like a Christian McCaffrey 2.0. And as you guys remember, McCaffrey kind of got overused by the Panthers, started racking up some injuries. I hope that doesn't happen to Austin Eckler because he's obviously my keeper on my team. All right, home run, Connor Joe. All right, I try to get in trouble for some showing the game a little bit, but anyway, but I think Kelly will be a good option just in case if Eckler gets hurt, he can fill in. He's a pretty solid little power back, catches the ball some too, just didn't get a lot of PT. Next is Felice Najee Dodd, Molly Kellum. She kept Travis Kelce, and she has been sending some very funny memes about Kelce possibly being hurt for a period of time. Hopefully not hurt too long, though. Everyone loves Travis Kelce, loves to watch his game, watch him play. She got Justin Herbert as her quarterback this year. Joe Mixon. She got some better wide receivers at D-Hop and Tyler Lockett. And I know a lot of people like to kind of shame on some of these veteran players. I was in a couple drafts and Derrick Henry was going late. I was like, what? Guys, why is Derrick Henry sliding all the way to me? There's one draft 12-man league. He slid to me. I had the 12th pick. I just couldn't believe it. They're like, oh, yeah, he's as old as me. But, dude, Derrick Henry's still getting it done. He's a force, And, I mean, Lockett and D-Hop, they're both forces. They're both getting it done. But she has the vet wide receivers. But she also has a nice young duo of young wide receivers. And George Pickens, who I wanted so badly. And also Jordan Addison, who was drafted by the Vikings this season, who's kind of replacing Thielen. Molly was also a winner, too. I also listed her as a winner. I really like the team she drafted. She picked up Russell Wilson super late, and Russ had a bad first year. I think he's going to have a emerging season this year. I don't think he's fallen off just yet. So, she also picked up Jerick McKinnon late, who had a also late emergence to the season last year. Chiefs. We'll go on to her husband next, Jesse, me and my homies. Obviously, he kept Mahomes, with the name. If you have Mahomes, you're keeping Mahomes. So, let's see. I have some solid running backs. I picked up J.K. Dobbins, too. I think he's going to have a big year. His wide receivers, Stephon Diggs and Devontae Smith. I had Devontae Smith last year. I loved him. Kind of hate I didn't pick him up again this year. I had an opportunity to get Stephon Diggs, and I kind of wish I would have. He also picked up Stonehouse, who was my punter for most of the season last year, at least in the second half. And Stonehouse actually scored a touchdown in the preseason. So it would be really awesome to see one of our punters score a touchdown. Now, unfortunately, I think that would go toward the special teams defense. So I'll need to find a way to see if they can score a touchdown. I think they can, actually, because there was a couple punters that got passing yards. So to be sure, they get credit for a touchdown, too. But watch out for Stonehouse, dude. Stonehouse is nice. He's got it. And it's funny that Jesse is a Cowboys fan because he drafted Sam Howell and Jahan Dotson, who are on Washington. And I feel like they could be a very sneaky, nice combo. I'm big on Sam Howell just because, his name's Sam. Went to Carolina. I think that's why Jesse does like him. It kind of counteracts a little bit. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to take it on. So Jahan Dotson, he's a sneaky, solid wide receiver. He had a couple big games last year, big catches. We're going to Amendola Oblongata, my boy Ryan. He decided to keep Alvin Kamara despite his 3-game suspension. He kind of didn't really have anyone worth keeping, as he cited to in the group chat. despite Kamara missing the first 3 games, he's got Saquon Barkley and Tony Pollard as his other running backs. So very strong running back class. He's picked some risky wide receivers. They're talented, but a little risky fantasy wise. Javonte Adams was a late steal. It was a late steal. He took my quarterback while I wanted Trevor Lawrence. And then he took Tua Tagovailoa, which I say took, but I really wanted Trevor Lawrence. And then he also got Anthony Richardson, who actually I wanted as my backup. So you did a great job drafting quarterbacks, Ryan. You got enough of them. Oh, you did? Good. Let's see. Cut my balls. Trey kept Christian McCaffrey. Risky picking Cooper Kupp. I feel like he only picked him just to have this name. I don't know. It's my conspiracy theory. You got some solid running backs. He's going with Justin Fields to be his quarterback this season. He brought back Waddle. I'm pretty sure he had him last year. Christian Kirk too. He's proven that he's a wide receiver 1. He's proven he's a valuable wide receiver last year. Other than those guys, his wide receiver depth is a little bit questionable, and no pun intended. Kupp and Waller are both questionable too. I do like that Nico guy in the Texans because I feel like C.J. Stroud, if he has a good year, one of those wide receivers are going to shine, and Nico's kind of on the depth chart, their wide receiver 1. So that's a nice little late pickup. I also do like Jamal Williams, who shined for the Lions last year. The Saints picked him up with Kamara being out in the first 3 games. Even when Kamara comes back, he's going to be a nice compliment to him. He found the end zone a lot last year. Next one, we move on to Chubb one out, Kendra. And just like her name, she decided to keep Nick Chubb. She also is running it back with Kirk Chains. Running it back with Kirk Cousins. She picked a lot of young players this year. A lot of young players. Maybe too many young players. We'll see how it pans out. I think all of her young players are very talented. Pacheco with the Chiefs. I think he's going to have a big year. Olave, I think he's going to have a great year this year too. Who's Pat? I forgot who I put. Who Pat is for her. Breece Hall, he got hurt last year. But he's going to come back this year. I think he's going to be big this year too. I'm so glad she drafted Kendra Miller. Kendra Miller, even though her last name's Horn. Has been for a year, by the way. Happy belated anniversary. So got a lot of young guys. Might be too many young guys, but it could pan out. A lot of these young guys are getting good quick in their careers. So let's see. We're going to go to my wife next. It's Miller time. Might need to change that because her last name got changed. Let's see. It's here or there. She decided to keep Tyreek Hill. Had a tough choice with her. She had Burrow, Derrick Henry, and Tyreek Hill. And would you look at that? She's able to get all 3 of her core players back. Isn't that crazy? Pretty wild. She also drafted James Cook and Rachaad White, two young running backs that I think will have big years this year. She won the Odell sweepstakes to take a risk on Odell, so we'll see how he pans after not really playing consistently the past several years. Kenny Pickett, I think he's going to rebound. He's got that rookie year under his belt. It's game time now. I think he's got it. She also snagged Deontay Foreman super late. Had a huge breakout year for the Panthers last year. And KJ Osborne too. He's starting to get. I guess he might be a veteran now. Maybe 3 or 4 years under his belt with the Vikings, and with Thielen gone, I feel like KJ Osborne could be that wide receiver too if that rookie Addison doesn't beat him to it. So, and last but not least, go with the commish. I decided to keep Austin Eckler. Why not? I actually am not a fan. I'm not really too big on keeping guys or drafting the same kind of guys as the year before. just in case, because guys have up and down seasons. But I couldn't give up Eckler, man. I built a nice relationship, with having him on my team. So, and he cares about fantasy football. He cares about it. So, this draft was so tough for me. Like I said, the quarterback who I wanted got picked, and some other guys in the mix got picked. I decided to draft Derrick Henry first, but I wish I would have drafted a wide receiver first since I kept a running back. Because it's like there was those top 15 players that are good, and a lot of them are wide receivers. But then that middle tier, at least on ESPN how they ranked it, that middle tier had some pretty solid young running backs. So I kind of wanted to fill my team with, and I just messed up my old draft. I just don't like. I mean, I like Dak Prescott, but you don't know what you're going to get out of him. You don't know. I mean, at least I got CeeDee Lamb, so I have that tandem together. But you don't know what you're going to get out of Calvin Ridley. It's kind of a risk. I think he is more ready to play than anyone on any NFL rosters. Kind of got blackballed a little bit. I'm just kind of unsure about my team, but I really love my depth. I got Raheem Mostert. Looks like he's going to be the starting running back in Miami. Deion Jackson looks like he's going to be the starting running back in Indianapolis because Jonathan Taylor's out. And then Van Jefferson. If Cooper Kupp's out, he's the Rams wide receiver 1. I think Stafford's going to bounce back this year. So I think my bench looks pretty solid. But unsure about guys like Dak. I'm pretty confident about Ramondre Stevenson's second year in. He seems to be that guy, Drake London. I'm kind of feeling the Falcons' offense a little bit this year. Desmond Ridder, second year for him, so I think Drake London, get his receptions up some more this year. So, but we'll see. I just thought this draft was so tough, and I'm just not really sure about my team. So we'll see. I know some guys, Trey, like to do some trading, so I might be hitting you up. For the final projection standings, show me your TDs is 1. I'll just throw a little screenshot up here so you guys can look at that. And I might get this under 25 minutes. I want it to kind of be under 20 minutes, but it is what it is. Like Yummer says, I like to talk. I do like to talk. So hopefully I haven't been too fast for you guys. Hopefully you could hear the audio okay. So anyway. We'll go to the week 1 matchups. The defending champion, Chubb 1 out, is going up against me. I'm projected to win 128 over 115. So hopefully I'll start my season off that way. We'll see. Next we have Hurts Locker against Show Me Your TDs. Very close matchup here. And there were actually the final projection standings, which those are just projections. It was I should dig up last year's to see how much it fluctuated. But these guys are 1 and 2, and Hurts is favored by 1 point. So that might be matchup of the week there. Scranton Stranglers versus Amendola Oblongata. Ryan needs to switch out Kamara for another running back. And his projection points will probably be a little bit better. Rubbing 1 out against just Joshing you. Projected 124 to 127 in favor of Joshing. Then we have Mahomes versus Cup. Cup is favored 129 to 124. And then last but not least, it's Miller time against Felice Najee Dodd. It's Miller time, favored 127 to 123. And that's all we got. Oh, trade alert. Right after the draft, me and my wife swap players, our first round picks, which kind of talked about a little bit. Traded Derrick Henry for CeeDee Lamb. Had to reel in CeeDee Lamb back to my team. Could have kept CDs, but I'm like, you know what? It's new season. Got to change that name. If he starts going off, he might have earned the name to get CDs. You back, but we'll see. Well, everyone, good luck. Week 1. Season starts this Thursday, September 7th. And I'll see you guys next week.